Obligatory on mobile. Throwaway because of legal stuff. I bought my first flat when I was in my 20s. I rented out a room to a guy from Poland. Awesome flatmate. FM. Super good at and maintenance. I was seeing someone for a while. Let's call her Ghost. Ghost lived with two other girls, one of whom is the titular ex-friend. Let's call her Karen. Ghost and I broke up. From the imaginative name you can guess what happened. My career went pretty well, and I bought a house in the suburbs. I decided to let FM stay on in the flat on the same rent, with the proviso that he not sublet. But his girlfriend, Jeff, moves in, which is fine. I get the mortgage covered and a tenant who is better at maintaining the place than I am. He gets a two-bed flat for half price. A few years on, and a certain idiot referendum passes, and flatmate and his girlfriend are moving home to Poland. Oh, is that GFS stuff? Are you going to be able to fit all that in the car? No, that's Karen's stuff. She asked if she could leave it here while we were still here. As it turns out, Karen was still friends with GF. She found out they were leaving, and that their rent was a pretty good deal. She told GF that she had squared it all with me, and that she was going to take it all over. I will confess to a few minutes panic and confusion. I have not spoken to this person in years. She thinks that she is going to move into my flat, and doesn't even ask. How the hell does she even intend to pay rent, given she has made 0 attempts to contact me? And why would I not go for market rate? I'm honestly baffled, and somewhat morbidly fascinated to find out how she thinks this is going to work. I don't really want to get into some kind of ridiculous squatters' rights squabble with them, so I contacted my solicitor, think a non-trial lawyer. She recommends I get the locks changed, and install a security camera, and to send the inevitable roof hitting her way when Karen turns up and tries to get in. I actually think she's quite excited by the drama. I explain all this to FM. He agrees to move out 2 weeks early, and even helps me fit the doorbell camera. So that's where we are. I pretty much have the Ring app open constantly on my phone. I have pretty clear instructions not to say anything other than give my solicitors information, and record any old correspondence when it happens. I'm presuming she will hear from GF though. I'll post an update if anything interesting comes of it. DR, a former friend has left a bunch of her stuff in my flat and plans to move in. She has made 0 attempt to contact me, but somehow thinks this will work out in her favor. Update, today at lunchtime, Karen turned up and tried to get in the flat, and she was not alone. It was with her, and they had a key. I feel stupid for not remembering that Ghost probably had one from when we were together, or they got a copy from GF. Didn't think she'd keep it after she ditched me, but probably should have changed locks back then. Oops, sorry tenants, my ex had a key to your flat the whole time. Camera didn't get the preamble, but they came up to the door and tried a key. They continue to take turns trying the key. I connect at this point but don't say anything. They try the doorbell but it doesn't make any noise because I'm connected. I think it's lit up but I guess they don't realize that means I'm watching. I thought Ring cameras had a siren to give them a fright but couldn't find it. They bang on the door and window a bit before walking off. I stayed listening through the camera but didn't hear anything. Still really quiet on phone. Video sent to solicitor anyway. I've had calls from unknown numbers. Not going to answer. Will wait for someone to text me and send them the solicitor's contact info. More to come in guess. In hindsight I should probably have waited to see how this played out before posting. Solicitor would probably murder me if she knew I was doing this. Update 2. After a whole bunch of phone calls from random numbers I finally got one from Ghost's father. He was always a gentleman who I got on with, so I sent him a polite message saying if this was about the flat, please direct this to my solicitor and gave him the details. He said okay, and she said he contacted her and is going in to meet her on Friday. So I guess I could update the title to Entitled X wants me to be her landlord. I did some snooping on social media. I deleted my Facebook years ago. It seems that Ghost and Karen's other housemate is getting married soon. They were all living rent-free in the bride's nan's old house, so I'm guessing impending nuptials are the reason Ghost and Karen are looking for somewhere new and cheap to live. Update 3, probably the final one, has taken a turn from the entitled to just plain dumb. With my apologies, there is not much drama and it is all second-hand. Karen, Ghost and Ghost Dead met with solicitor today, where they unveiled their secret weapon. I was right, in that their rent-free ride was over, and they had no money saved. Ghost had been used to me as a cash machine for years, I guess, so thought I would just roll over. So Lee's brainiac's plan was that they would take over the existing lease agreement with FM and GF without my involvement. They had a key, they had my payment details from the tenancy agreement. GF just cost FM and her a wedding gift. Luckily the account's sole purpose was for rent, so I can change that number easily. They thought they could just write their names on the form as well and it would be legally binding. Never mind the fact that there is no subletting. The agreement was with someone else, and the agreement was terminated by FM. Solicitor says they only tried to argue their point for a minute before giving up. Meeting at her office gave her real home field psychological advantage, I think. That and, every freaking law in the land. Honestly, these people are nearly 40. How they have no idea how a lease works is beyond me. Long stupid story short, Ghost Debt has agreed to pay a moving company to collect the boxes and bring them to his house. I need to be there for that, but I will slam the door at the first sign of anyone other than a mover. I'm out about 350 quid in solicitor's fees. I can accept that. Like I said, no wedding preset for FM now. I mean, I'd preferred not to have that happen, but who knows what would have happened if they got their day in court. There is a non-zero chance I could have been screwed by a justice based on some sub-story. Even in a likely case I'd win, the only people who make money on these things are the lawyers. Punitive damages aren't really a thing here. The courts would just send everyone on their ways. Quick note on why I didn't just chuck her things out the door. Flats here tend to open to outside, not a corridor, so it would be the same as chucking it out in the rain. And there is a legal duty of care. It's called being an involuntary bailee. It sucks, but it's a pretty common landlord problem. And Karen is a Karen. At least twice I've seen her complain in a restaurant to get her meal comped. Rules are a weapon to use against others. She would absolutely have made trouble for me. That's hopefully it. Thanks for sticking with me. Apologies if it didn't live up to the expectations of drama. Hopefully at the very least it will serve as a cautionary tale about changing locks if you get dumped.